Calisthenics is a strange sport. I gotta admit, some of the exercises that we do are some of the most wackiest and pain-inducing exercises in the world, and then we call it some edgy-ass name or the last initial of someone who did it first. But that is the beauty of calisthenics. Unlike gymnastics, you can create your own style of workout and train for whatever movements you want. It can be basic gymnastic components with straight arm pushing skills with dynamic components, or just static skills with strength combos. Or it can be just street lifting, reps and sets, finger strength, just freestyles, dynamics overall, egosthenics, or you just want to do muscle ups and muscle ups only. Oh, and these three are what I am going to be focusing on for today's video. Also, disclaimer, this whole list is just going to be my opinion, and neither should you take this list seriously, because the exercises I'm going to be showing you are just going to be straight up goofy as hell. So, grab your chicken, rice, broccoli, and your 2000 milligram caffeine worth of a protein shake, and let's get on with it. The first exercise on this list is the one-arm pinky push-up. Now, the idea of this exercise isn't too strange overall, but the way people do it just makes it look goofy. If you think of a push-up, you think of this form, not this form. Look, Mom, I can do a one-arm finger push-up. Looking at us here with your 1-inch range of motion and pinky dislocator rep. Now, it doesn't have to be just the pinky. You can also use different fingers as well for this exercise. And don't get me wrong, this exercise is very impressive to say the least. The amount of pain tolerance and strength you need to perform this is mad insane. But the weird form that comes with the exercise and the people who perform this exercise with their arm kind of overhead and an internal kind of position, replicating kind of like an advanced variation of a one-arm plank with a push-up and with your pinky. But I think the reason this exercise looks the way it does is because it makes the push-up so much easier, especially when you're literally crippling on one of your fingers, and the pinky, in fact, literally the weakest of your fingers, and you have to make this movement as easy as possible to complete a single rep. Now, that doesn't mean that this would be the easiest form to do when performing a one-arm push-up without the fingers and or whatever, but now that I think about it, I made the script like a month ago. It could make the one-arm push-up easier, I don't know. But this variation is specifically made so that your little fingies could suffer less. Here are some notable athletes have completed the skill with the pinkies, and some other mentions for those who did it on the thumb and the index/middle finger. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we dive in deeper, we get into the prince of shoulder dislocations, the reverse grip planche push-up, or also known as the reverse impossible dip. This exercise was popularized by Ziolos, an elite calisthenics athlete who has mastered many planche variations in his career. This was one of them. Now, as we all know, the impossible dip is really easy, so someone had to make it harder somehow, and also make it one of the most dangerous exercises in the world. So unlike the impossible dip, it is literally just the reverse of everything. Instead of your body leaning back, your body is leaning forward. And most importantly, your hands are just reversed all the way inward. And just like the impossible dip, you have to touch your elbows down to the bar somehow. Like, seriously, I don't know how this guy does. This exercise is just really goofy in the way that there is more risk to reward ratio than if you were to trade Bitcoin from an influencer. Except the reward being that you don't get injured, and you also get a pretty cool skill. In a way, this exercise is really interesting to me because it looks pretty cool as for its movement pattern and simplicity. But at the same time, it looks like such an unnatural and uncomfortable position to be in, whilst not only doing a dip with it, but also supporting your whole entire body weight in that position, which is really admirable strength, the fact that you can do that, but it's really strange in its nature. And so that here are some notable athletes that have completed this skill. Now, speaking of shoulder dislocations, let's look into the emperor of shoulder dislocations, Entrada de Diablo. Yeah, I don't even know how this is pain tolerable, nor even possible. Now, if you first look at this exercise, you may just think, oh, it's a regular back lever pull-up. But as you look at this dude's pull-up, something seems strange here. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Let me explain. You see this regular grip here, yeah? Now let me just do a little bit of this. And then from here, you just dislocate your shoulders. Simple. But wait, even in this position, I'm supposed to pull up? I'm not doing that shit, bro. Yeah, and even I thought the start of the movement was bad enough. Little did I know, as this movement is getting performed, the person who will have to do this movement will not have the same shoulder any longer. But jokes aside, the Entrada de Diablo is a fascinating exercise in a way that it is incredibly risky, which is why you see most people perform it for a single rep. This exercise is just basically everything that is reversed in the Halfesta, as your arms are obviously in the completely opposite direction. And just like the reverse impossible dip, it's just reversed completely inward. Now, here are some beasts that absolutely wreck this exercise to pieces, and I still don't know how. But we are not done here, my friends, as I present to you the king of shoulder dislocations, the reverse grip muscle up. Wait, no. How do I say this? Uno, oh my god, bro.
Un insidioso phobos.
Which is basically the reverse grip one arm muscle up, but you just stop at the transition. Which I have only seen one person in the world do this, and it is this guy. So check him out if you want. It's really impressive what he does. Now we're talking here. Out of all the movements I have mentioned in this list, nothing, absolutely nothing compared to this beast of a movement. This is the pinnacle of Calisthenics right here. Nothing compares to this. Not even the power of the sun. Not even the power of the whole entire solar system. Now, this element is strange in the way that this one element is supposed to be, a reverse grip one arm muscle up. But then the founder of it was like, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. And then call it like a separate skill. Wow! Which I can say it's a pretty cool skill. When it comes to the regular freestyle skills and freestyle dynamics we see around calisthenics, this one in particular is a very unique and we don't see all around calisthenics. We usually don't see someone hanging off the bar in some way, and then just getting your arm over the bar very awkwardly and simply calling it at that. And I think it's really cool that way. I think the skill is really cool in its nature. Same way how it feels when you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends and family, because even though my upload schedule is completely fucked, rest assured that just subscribe. Now, as we are moving on, let's fix our eyes into the prayer planche, which, as strange as this exercise is also one of my favorites. Popularized by Nikita, the prayer planche is a skill which, instead of just doing a basic planche like a normal person, you take your hands and touch them in a prayer like this. And as you put your forearms onto the surface, you then lean forward and execute the planche position. In this skill, your arms are again in internal rotation, as for most of the skills I have mentioned, which makes the skill very different from the regular variation of the planche, as it incorporates different muscles which can be more lenient to the movement like the back lever touch. In the same way, this exercise can actually be pretty useful in life. Not only do you get those strength gains, but you also get your prayers in for the day. And as a not religious person like myself, it seems pretty legit to me. There are actually quite a lot of athletes that have completed the skill, as it is popular within the street workout world. But here are some athletes that have completed the skill and I can think of at the top of my head. Ziolos obviously is the king of prayer planche, Eric Ortiz, and Denton Conte. Now, this is the end of the video, so if you like this video, consider checking out my other content as well, and also check out my socials. Bye bye.